Brett Noyes. I'm the founder of Unbank Ventures. We started about 2 years ago. We're an early stage fintech incubator. We work with very early stage financial technology companies that are building products and services to service the financial services industry. I'm based in the Bay, but about half the companies we work with are based abroad. A little bit about me, background. I've done pre-accelerator programs for Techstars. I worked for Tim Draper, building the FinTech Incubator Program, which is the catalyst of what I'm currently working on. And prior to that, I worked for Jason Calacanis, former New Yorker, now a San Francisco guy, does This Week in Startups, and is very loud and boisterous in the space. So helped him start his first incubator program. Previous work in the space, so I got a lot of my feet wet while working for Tim Draper. While working there, I kind of got roped into it because nobody else wanted to do it, but it was kind of serendipitous. Asked to host the Bitcoin meetup. And as I like to tell people, it was the most interesting group of anarchists I've ever worked with. So it was very interesting. There was a delineation between the work I did, so that was kind of the after hours that I would put on that, and worked with that people that were very early in the Bitcoin space. And then my work with the FinTech Incubator was more focused on working with PwC and different like consulting firms as far as financial technology that they might show to their clients. One of the things that really pulled me into this space was one of our companies was building a derivatives trading platform on Ethereum. This is about 4 years ago. They kept trying to pull me in and bring me to the meetups. What got me excited about what they were working on was that they could do a settlement, take it from 3 days down to 15 seconds. I was instantly in love with the technology. They kept trying to, get me to these meetups. I wish that they had literally made me buy some Ethereum, because at that point it was like $3. So that was a lost opportunity. But in general, I've always been, ever since then, very interested in the underlying technology and how it could be applied to the financial services industry. We've run 3 cohorts. Companies from 4 different countries so far. We'll run another one this fall, so by then I'm sure we'll be a wider breadth of countries after that. I like to say that we have worked with every flavor of fintech, from accounting all the way down to video conferencing. So basically, if it has applications within financial services and a potential use case, we're interested in working with them. Kind of a different philosophy. So being based in San Francisco, we feed into programs like this, and we have a great respect for YC. One of our companies went on to YC. We work very hand in hand with the guys over at 500 FinTech. We like to say that this is their philosophy. So this is the general kind of obviously tongue-in-cheek here, but this is how Silicon Valley looks about building companies. Here's the formula. Let's find the right founding team, the right jockey. Let's find a good horse. That might be the technology, and blam, we've got a fire-breathing unicorn with a kitty on it with, I don't know, he's got a laser or a gun or something there. So that's kind of what I kind of boil down the Silicon Valley philosophy about. There's some people that are amazingly very good at this, and they've done very well. We are more focused on what we like to think of as people that are not looking to disrupt, but people who are looking to collaborate with the financial technology sector. Other things that we see as we look at building out our program, these are people that we respect in the space. They serve a portion of the financial services industry quite well, so we often feed into Plug and Play's FinTech program. I think they recently opened up a program out here. We good friends with the people over at Techstars. Barclays, also a great program if you are Barclays. So we think that there's a really, and also concerning Plug and Play, great if you're a bank that has at least $250,000 a year that you can spend on their program. So we think ultimately that there's a problem in the industry. We think that the smaller banks are underserved. So I like to call this the Goldilocks and the 3 banks conundrum. So I think what we've learned in the financial crisis is that the big banks, they're going to be okay. So no one cry for the big banks. They're going to be okay. We also think that community banks will always have a place, in the world. They'll be supported by their community, kind of slow to adopt technology, but they definitely have their place in kind of the market and the ecosystem. So we don't focus on them. But we think that there's this huge underserved area where the regional and national banks don't necessarily have the resources or maybe the culture to really embrace technology and be thinking about technology. So in this little market here, is comprised in the U.S. alone of over 5,000 banks. So this is the area that we would like to focus on as we build out our innovation and incubation services. So we're currently working on developing a survey. We're reaching out to all of these banks. We're trying to find people that might, so there's a lot of banks. And we've, our initial survey mostly came back with like angry responses saying they didn't need us. So we hope those banks die. So yeah, good luck to them. I hope there's some consolidation and they're consolidated by banks that we work with. So we're looking to work with banks and identify banks that have an innovation culture or are willing to embrace that. Innovative leadership. Just because you're a smaller regional bank doesn't mean that you couldn't lead in your respective market. And so we're looking for banks that have those kind of characteristics and are willing to do some tech adoption. Honestly, so much of the stuff that we've talked about in the last 2 days, it's probably going to take a long time to trickle into banks, financial services as a whole. I mean, it's gone faster than I expected. Another presentation on that. But especially when we think about it trickling into our national and regional sized banks, I think it's going to take a while, and we want to be part of helping usher that and looking for solutions that can give these banks a competitive advantage and at least let them compete against the larger banks. Ways that we're looking to do this in 2019, people we've already brought on are going to help us. So contributors. So we're looking for banks and different financial institutions to put out challenges. So basically, come to us, let us know what is the challenge that your bank is facing that you think can be solved by a technology using. I'm drawing a blank on here. Used to be Challenge Post. The name has changed. Using the Challenge platform. To put these out there, looking for teams, companies, individuals, technologists that are willing to work on these projects and picking the best projects and working with the banks to kind of match that, and then ultimately putting them through our Unchained Ventures program, which is an AI and blockchain-focused incubator program that will be rolling out the beta part of it this fall, actually, when I say this fall. In a couple weeks, so in September. So still looking for companies to enter our beta program. So if you're an early stage blockchain or AI company about MVP level or above, please come contact me. There's still time to join our fall cohort. What else? So the basic tenets of this program: challenge, 10-week program. Our program can be kind of boiled down to there's 3 areas we primarily focus on. It's bringing the product to market, so product validation. We are not married to these ideas working in reality. What we do is largely with our program is seeing whether there's product market fit, and it's okay if there's not. We embrace the failure culture of Silicon Valley and try to apply it to the highly regulated fintech or financial services industry. The next area that we work a lot on, and we have a great expertise is basic business development and sales and marketing. So helping our companies, right? So when you're 2 founders, oftentimes the people that we end up working with are possibly 2 engineers, 2 technologists, maybe a technologist and a product person. So where we fill in the gap a lot is that we do a lot of the marketing and sales for our company, reaching out to potential banks, customers, getting them to pilots, leveraging our network and leveraging our program to help these companies get to the next stage. And the final piece is investment. So we package up our companies to get in front of investors, and oftentimes where we kind of sit is that area between the friends and family money and getting that first pre-seed round money. And we feed into other programs. So we, like I said earlier, we work with Plug and Play, 500, YC, Techstars, who else? The Yodlee program, so basically name a fintech-focused program. We have relationships or building relationships with them. And finally, the goal of this program and our program in general is to get our companies to some level of traction, notable traction, where they're in a pilot or a commercial application where they're actually being utilized. What we're looking for, corporate partners, whether they be, the Ernst & Youngs in the room. So I'm looking to, is it Gregory? Yeah, so actually what his colleague or boss or whomever we're bringing on as one of our advisors. So we're looking for people that can help us basically bring our companies, potentially when they're ready, get them in front of your guys' clients. So we think the big consulting piece is a big portion of our company going forward. Banks, we're obviously looking forward to partner with, and the service provider. So there's some interesting platforms. So we're partnering with IBM Hyperledger. I'm going to draw a blank on it. We've got 3 or 4 different ones. Adjoint, which is a smaller one. Just in general, if someone's building a blockchain or AI or just a platform, a financial services platform that could help our startups, we'd love to chat with you and see how we can make those services and products and services available to our companies. And then project leaders, which also could be considered entrepreneurs. So somebody that's willing to work on one of these projects or start a company that could solve a banking problem. If that's you, I'd love to chat with you and see if we can fit you into our program. That's me. So thank you guys for listening. Here's my contact information. So yeah, love to chat with anybody that's interested in what we're doing.